podcast contains strong opinions, playful antics, and controversial topics causing off-the-rails fun. Chances for being offended are higher than average for sensitive people. Viewer discretion is not advised. Live a little and have some fun.
Episode 179, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Coach's Box. We call it as we see it. Episode 179. Nobody is stopping this freight train, not even Mr. Negative. Next to me is Zach McVey. Jason Jarvis joining us. Kevin Halley is somewhere to be found. And I'm Jim Powers. Glad to have everybody with us tonight. Gentlemen, how's your Thursday evening going?
Man,
it's going great.
Great. Essence of positivity. We're going to try and have the show without all the technical issues that has plagued the world today.
AT&T, the FCC, or any foreign hackers cannot stop this. Even though AT&T tried to this morning. I mean, how about waking up to that?
I thought some of my kids were going to be in tears today at school.
Oh, that's right. You're allowed to let your kids have their phones in school, unlike some other person in this screen right now.
Nope, no phones, right?
No comment.
Policy.
No comment.
It makes sense.
Our policy,
just like our IT guy. Where's our IT guy at?
His internet's not working.
No, it's working. He's just he said he was going to have to step away at some point.
Hey, I guess I might have.
That's all right. When you know how this goes, Jim. When you're not here, you are free game.
Oh, I know.
I mean, really, Miller's got acts like he's coaching a game right now or something. Why can't he be live right on the sideline? Couldn't that be awesome?
I would love to see the coach's cam.
Awesome.
Coach's cam.
Coach's cam, he'd have a thing of Vaseline telling the refs. I mean, there'd be all kinds of stuff.
Throwing clipboards and Hulk smash and everything else, right?
Oh boy, Chris Miller.
Yeah.
Is tonight the district semi? Or is this the district final? It's a semi
for the boys. Yeah, girls.
Did our 7 end up winning?
Yes.
We're gonna. That's where we're gonna start getting into is for the small schools. It is district
you
week.
See what
yeah.
McVey needs just for men for his beard is weird. And then he's not coach, and I saw the score. Must not be going good for coach.
I don't believe it is,
right
unfortunately.
Well, our 7-1, 66-53 over Sumner. So they'll play the winner of Pius and Bishop DeBerg. They're playing right now, and from what you guys are saying, the score is not looking good for the Lancers and Coach Miller. But yeah, I mean, it's district week. Next week is the large schools. You look at a lot of the different districts there. Jason, I'll let you jump in and talk about the district that Herky's in, where you guys are seated, and what do you think is going to happen in your district?
Well, you have Potosi and Park Hills in our district. Potosi's the 1 seed. Park Hills is a 2, so they'll both sit Monday and Tuesday nights out. And I got the 4 seed. Afton is the 3rd, so it goes Potosi, then Park Hills, Afton, then Herculaneum, and then Bayless, and then St. Clair. So St. Clair has the 3 seed in Afton, and I have Bayless for the 3rd time this year. and the 4 or 5 seed. So, and if we were to be lucky enough to beat Bayless, then we'll get our third crack at Potosi. So, it's I think it'll be a competitive district, more competitive than what people think it will be. And it'll be different. It's down at Potosi and not at Park Hills for once. So there's a little difference, even though we've been at St. John last year, but it's a little different.
No doubt. And the winner of your district will play the winner of the district with St. John, Dexter, Kennett, Fredericktown, Doniphan, and Perryville. So, that's a pretty good district with a lot of those Class 4 teams from down in the Boot Hill. And we'd like to say hello to the IT director of this group. Hi, Kevin.
Well, that District 1's interesting because St. John got the number 1 seed in that district, and
yes,
and this year's probably one of their down years.
Mm-hmm.
If you really look at their season this year, Coleman does a great job down there, and they got the 1 seed. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out of that district.
And then you look over, moving to Class 5, and we'll start with the boys, and we'll jump over to the girls here in a second. And I'm not going to let Zach argue about a certain topic. We argued about it last week, so we don't need to argue about Incarnate Word this week. They're the best team in the state. They're in the top 25.
Argument there.
Oh, exactly, but they play a national schedule, so we're not going to go there. Anyway. You had to just get it in. I just had to get it in. But
Kevin, your mic's not on, buddy.
Is that better?
There's the IT guy.
IT guy.
Damn it.
Well, which one of those?
Hey, I did read.
Go ahead.
I did read something for Zach's sake. There is a Michigan rule that only allows a school to play one event outside of 250 miles from the state of Missouri. So they cannot,
it's the LeBron
Michigan rule, play a national schedule.
Yeah, they got a home
Hawaii,
gym,
they
don't
go
they?
to Florida.
North St. Louis, there's a home gym up there in Incarnate Word where they put all their.
Everybody's going to enter, really?
They go down to Springfield. They go down to Springfield for a big old Bass Pro tournament. So yeah,
what are they going? Yeah, and they're playing at JQ. Well, at the Great Southern Bank. And,
right.
Okay, what is there to do in Belnor, North County? Nothing.
In winter.
In the winter. The Normandy Golf Course is closed.
They probably need to stay inside anyway. So.
Oh, jeez. Let's go back to talking about district basketball. Class 5.
So which Class 5 district are you going to start with?
We're going to start with number 1. Sikeston, the 1 seed, and everybody in the state, including myself, is saying that the state championship is going to run through Sikeston in Class 5 this year. They'll play North County in the first round. Poplar Bluff and Hillsboro, the 4-5 matchup, will be really interesting. Cape Central, the 2 seed, gets DeSoto, the 7 seed, and then Farmington and Festus, the 3-6 seed. I mean, this is a pretty doggone good district in Class 5.
Mm-hmm.
No, I thought you were going Class 6, but yeah, okay.
No, I'm going to go to Class 6 in a minute.
Yeah, that district, I mean, you got Farmington, Cape Central. There's some good teams in there.
And Sikeston is just playing out of their ever-loving minds right now. They beat New Madrid County, who should win Class 3 in a couple weeks, and they're really, really good as well again this year.
Man, and that's at North County. It's an interesting pick out of all those schools.
Yeah, I mean, once again, and it's up to the district, and Jason knows, well, everybody knows this. The district, coaches and ADs put in to see if
it's probably I guess that's more of your media, in the middle type place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be
trying to find middle places now with the vast sizes of these districts these days.
Well, heck, it's not football where whatever's going all the way out to whatever to play at Fayette. So, I mean, we don't have to worry about any of that on the basketball side.
So, will District 1 play then District 2, the winner of that one?
Yes.
So, is that the one with Clayton, Lutheran South, that one?
That's the one that St. Mary's, who's had a terrific year. Yeah. They're the 1 seed. They'll play Roosevelt Callahan, the co-op team. Clayton and Windsor are the 4-5. Vianney and Rockwood Summit are the 2-7. And
Roosevelt
Webster Groves,
Carnahan. Okay.
yeah, and Webster Groves and Lutheran South in the 3-6. I'll tell you what, guys.
What was
St. Mary's-
Windsor?
Could Vianney make some noise?
They've already played Webster, and they lost to Webster earlier this year. And by the way, Luke Walsh set the new school record for scoring. He's over 1,500 points, which is absolutely amazing in 3 years. That district is loaded, especially with the way Webster's it's playing.
What did Windsor get seeded?
5.
5. Wow, and they're a solid team too.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to play them on a night where they get hot.
No, and Rockwood Summit's not bad as a 7 seed. And Lutheran South is young, and they've kind of taken some lumps, but they've played against it. They've played well against the tougher teams this year.
What seed are they?
They're the 6th seed, but they get Webster.
Who's the 4-5 then?
Clayton Windsor.
Clayton and Windsor. Okay.
Yeah, but how about the possibility of Vianney Webster, matchup in the district semifinal? How nuts will that be?
Mm-hmm.
And that district is being held at St. Mary's.
Now that's an interesting one there with that.
Well, hold on. I stand corrected.
Webster Groves.
They're playing the top part of the bracket at St. Mary's. They're playing the bottom part of the bracket at Webster, and then the semi and finals at Webster.
I was going to say, it says on what I'm looking at, because what I had pulled up on my phone, I took pictures of all the districts. So I did some research today, by the way. But
whoa! Wait a second.
It says host next to Webster Grove, so that's why I was.
Hold on. Jarvis must be off tomorrow. That must be why.
I actually am a half day tomorrow because I have my diabetes appointment, and my doctor's going to tell me how fat I am, and I'm going to say yes. And as soon as basketball gets over, I am going to start not eating like a fat sow. But hey, I know you guys don't care, but the Blues are up 3-0 already.
There you go.
Man, I just walked through the living room like 5 minutes ago, and it was 0-0.
It is 3 now.
It's nice. Soccer season. Hey, Kevin, how about that City victory the other night?
How are you going to jump from districts of basketball? Jim, can you stay on task? I thought Chris,
you're the one that brought up the Blues.
I just gave a breaking news report. City already played. Who cares? No one cares about that.
So, Jim, what you're trying to say is he segued to hockey, and you basically segued to soccer because hockey is soccer on ice.
No.
So, okay, I see the
soccer has,
I see the
soccer has so much contact compared to hockey. Come on. Not even close.
It's literally the same game.
It is not.
It's literally the same
you
game.
ever see them guys fake to get yellow and red cards in freaking soccer?
Yeah, it's called embellishment. They actually have
embellishment is right. Yeah, it's garbage.
That's what they call a flop in soccer.
Yes.
So,
and let's not even bring up
district
LeBron.
Basketball, Jim.
And then in Class 5 District 3, once again, just another absolute loaded district. You got Ladue, the 1 seed, who, Chad Anderson's just done a terrific job with that group this year. Parkway West is the 8 seed. Then Westminster, the 4 seed. Parkway Central, the 5 seed. DeSmet is the 2 seed. They get McClure, and then Hazelwood East will play McClure North. How about the collision course possibility between Ladue and DeSmet? I mean, in a way
district's loaded.
Yeah. I mean, they're all pretty salty. And there's some really, really good teams in those districts. And then you go out to St. Charles County. Zumwalt South is the 1 seed. Bill Friedel's got his kids playing at a really, really high level. Holt's the 2 seed, Parkway North the 3 seed, and St. Charles the 4 seed. So now Class 6, the big kids. District 1, you've got Cardinal Ritter as the 1 seed. They get Fox. Sorry, guys. Thanks for participating. Have a nice day after that one. They're the 8 seed. Then SLU High's the 4 seed. Oakville's the 5 seed. Jackson, who's got a really, really good team, they're the 2 seed. They get Seckman, and then Lindbergh gets Melville.
I know. You look at that district, all these St. Louis schools, and then Jackson.
Well, I hate to say it, Jackson is just fodder for the loss. I mean, that's Cardinal Ritters to lose or to win by more than 30 in every game.
Have you a drink there, Jim?
It's water. I'm hydrating because I can't drink anything after 11 o'clock. So I got to hydrate now for tomorrow.
Oh gosh, player.
But
Which district is Vashon in on the boys? Because I mean they've got to be,
they are
with their national schedule.
okay, here we go again. They are Class 4, District 5. They are the 1 seed. Shocking development. Confluence Prep Academy is the 2 seed. Miller Career is the 3. KIP is 4. Gateway's 5. And Live for Life is 6. Ain't nobody stopping that Vashon train.
I was gonna say, are they the favorite for Class 4 then?
Absolutely. I mean, put it this way: there are a lot of people kind of putting some odds that Vashon should get there pretty easily. But Burroughs is playing really well right now, and that's who they would match up against. Prin makes the jump up to 4 out of Class 2. They're the 3 seed, and they haven't played their best basketball yet this year.
Yeah, I still think even with that, it's still Vashon's for the taking. They're
It's
just
at
too
Vashon
talented.
too. They're
Yep.
the host school.
Oh yeah.
So
Is there? I was gonna say now. I mean, we're talking way down the line, but are there any Kansas City schools? Are there any Springfield schools, or maybe there's some outlier rural type area schools that can give some of the St. Louis teams, or at least some of the teams on our side of the state, some challenge, in your opinion, guys? What do you think, Jim?
St. Michael the Archangel is 1 seed out west, and they're really, really good. Springfield Catholic is also really, really talented this year. And Barstow is a team that's been there. So I think there's going to be some different looks to see who's going to be out there from the Kansas City side. But the bottom line is, Vashon is just doing what they always do, and that's they just get after you defensively. They've got 3 D1 dudes that just can play any part of any position, basically. And Tony's doing a great job with them. So I just think Vashon's going to win it again. I think there's nobody that's going to touch them in 4. What do you think, Jarvis?
I mean, they got to be the favorite. I mean, Park Hills ran up against them last year, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't bet against Vashon, that's for sure.
No doubt about it. So that's kind of what
he was talking odds, so bets. I mean,
we don't do that. There's no betting no gambling at Bushwood, sir.
great reference.
I don't bet on high school sports. I can bet,
there are some stupid websites that put out lines for high school sports, which I think is ridiculous.
There is
the stupidest
I didn't even
thing
know that.
ever. Oh yeah.
I'm not much of a gambler, so I don't. I don't have any money, so I'm gonna gamble. I mean, I bought diapers the other day, $39.97, dude, for 1 box. For 1 box, dude. And he's got diarrhea. Look great. I just crap that diaper. Man, that's $40 out of the drain. So.
Oh boy! By the way, we'll go to the grocer in a second, but McVey, Eddie Marino is all over you right now on the chat.
That's all right. He's got nothing better to do. It's supposed to be a boring night. Boring night in the Marino household.
Well, once again, I mean, when you don't make the height limit at a lot of places.
Oh man, this stuff is getting thrown out here.
And let the emojis begin, ladies and gentlemen. On the girls' side in Class 4, Cape Notre Dame's a 2 seed. Donovan is really, really good again this year. That's Class 1 or District 1. District 2, Park Hill Central and Perryville are 1 and 2. Herky is the 5 seed. They play Potosi. Winner gets Park Hill Central.
Yeah, and they Potosi and Herky played just about a week ago or so, and they lost by like, I don't know, 8. It was under single digits. I know I'm laughing at him too, but I'm trying. And like mid sentence, I'm trying to talk, and then who let this guy on here? I mean,
Is there a way I could?
Hey, Eddie, if you want to come
tonight.
on the show, just come on to the
that's
show.
hilarious.
Okay?
Wait,
It's
at
on
one
the
point,
card.
he said we had to wait till a certain time. When is that time?
And it's way past that time.
Well, the
It's
time's
way
up?
Past the time.
I think so.
Oh, like weeks ago.
Oh well,
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
Oh
here's
my
the deal.
gosh.
Coach Jarvis has type 1. I don't have fat guy diabetes. I just have type 1. So I just happen to be fat on top of my juvenile diabetes. But I got it my senior year of high school. I was 17. So yeah, it was my senior year of football practice. I kept having to go to the bathroom, couldn't figure it out. And after I lost about 21 pounds and parents dragged me to the doctor because I was like, dude, I'll lose my spot.
Right.
You know, I mean, back then, shoot, miss, man. I ever tell you, this is way off subject, but I got to tell you this story. Everyone will probably enjoy it. This is how coaching was back in the 90s, man. So
Hold on. You got to say early.
Okay. Not early. I graduated 94. It's almost mid. All right. So not late mid as they mean. But anyway. So I find out I'm diabetic, blah, blah, blah. Get on the phone, call my coach. And if anyone knows who, the legendary coach of that time in Festus history is, you can figure it out. I'm not going to call him out by name here. But I call him and I'm like, hey, Coach, it's Jarvis. It's like, you okay? I'm like, yeah. I go, hey, I'm going to have to stay in the hospital for like the rest of this week. They'll let me come to practice next week, but I won't be able to practice. Oh, well, you going to be able to play this year? I said, yeah, I'll be able to play. I got type 1 diabetes, All right, well, we'll see you when you get back. I'm glad to hear that you'll be able to play. We'll see you when you get back. That was it. That was the end of the conversation. Conversation over. And then,
hey, if you would have said you couldn't play, the conversation probably would have been even shorter.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, not only that, I ran what they called extras for like a month, and I got a disease, man. And I missed those practices. I had to make up the conditioning, man.
Right?
Wow. So, Jason.
Boy, how things have changed in 2024.
Absolutely. So, Jason, you were saying before we were interrupted by the chat about Herky and Potosi.
I think it'll be a good game. Hopefully, them just meeting up not too long ago. Hopefully, Herky makes a couple adjustments, and hopefully, my daughter shoots it well, and they can get a win.
And then
Central got a chance going back to the Final Four.
It's going to be tough because you got St. James that's sitting there, and they've got another good team, and then the district that we're in at Lutheran South, we had our meeting last night. Ursuline's the 1 seed, we're the 2 seed, and that's just going to be a knockdown, drag out heavyweight battle next Friday night. Ursuline beat us by 20.
So you guys are declaring you're already going to make it there? Is that's what I'm hearing?
Okay. Afton Bayless,
I mean,
Notre Dame, Maplewood.
Is that not what I just heard?
We've already called
the
shot.
If they get upset, I can't wait. If they get upset, he is never going to hear the end of it from me.
Zach's right. As the assistant, he's allowed to do that.
That's
it's
true.
up to the head coach to clean up his mess now.
He doesn't have to do coach speak. He's just the assistant.
I sit at the end of the bench and say not one word. That's it. That's it right there, Jason. But no, it's going to be real tough for Park Hills. Hey, but I sit down there so I can yell at the officials or have conversations if need be. I don't yell. I'm not a yeller.
Well, I'm a yeller, but I don't yell at officials.
Hold on, wait a second.
Oh, wow.
I remember Powers. I remember Powers being over at the Pius gym and getting into it. Hold on now. Hold on. Hey, listen. I'm losing it, but I remember that one pretty.
Hey.
That
pretty
was
vividly.
that was Boer's fault.
Hey, my last.
That was Boer's the one that almost got us kicked out of the JV game.
I'm not gonna. You know what? I'll take my chances. I'll jinx myself. I got one regular season game left, fellas.
You're done.
And guess what? I haven't gotten.
You haven't got one yet. I did not get one. I did not get one this year at all.
Who's on the call
Tomorrow?
Because
I have no idea.
Yeah, who's your?
It's
so
at Fredericktown, so
it's not going to.
Well, you
it's
know
not
what?
going to be Langhauser. It's not going to be Langhauser or Noland or any of the St. Louis boys.
We know some guys down there. We need to say, hey, if they're watching, listen, we can't bet on the high school games, but maybe we can bet on if Jarvis gets teed up or not.
Hey,
I would love that.
Ain't happening, dude. I haven't even raised my voice to a ref this year. I don't think. I haven't. Why do it? It ain't gonna do you no good.
No.
Oh, it doesn't make them mad. They're human. As soon as if I was a ref and I had this guy chirping at me all the time, I'd be like, you know what? Every 50-50 call is going against you, dude. Everyone. You know, they're human.
Yeah. It's like trying to deal with umpires and strike zones. I'm not giving them a reason to not give me the corner.
Yeah, right. You want the so I just dude, it took me a while to get to this point.
Oh boy.
It took having another kid. That's what it did. It took having
something to do
kid.
with well, great. Not just for men beer too.
There's a whole lot of that in this episode.
Yes, there is.
Man, there is. Look at yours.
Eddie,
there is.
Eddie needs to get a step stool and look in the mirror himself. Because it's a little gray too there.
Eddie, that was not me this time. I fired the first one. That was not me this time.
Oh
and
my
real quick,
gosh, what he just wrote is hilarious.
Oh, I know. Oh, he's tortured me.
You want to blow one up? Put that on the thing.
I'll put it up. I'm not afraid to. There it is.
You were in a swimsuit officiating.
No, I was not wearing a swimsuit. I was in khakis and a polo shirt.
Hey, that's all right. I saw him do a volleyball one. He could barely get up the stairs to get up there to officiate.
Why do you think I don't do as the up official? I stay down. So, and real quick, Class 5. This is a really good district that's going to come down to who can win out of Hillsborough and Festus. They're the 2-3 seeds. Farmington's the 1 seed. Windsor's the 5 seed. DeSoto's the 7 seed. So Hillsborough will play DeSoto. Festus gets Cape Central. While Farmington
gets boys or girls.
Almost sounds like the Jefferson County Big School Conference.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this the
girls? That's the girls.
Is Farmington's the one,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
They roll.
You think so? You think they beat a 2-loss Hillsborough?
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Zach calling his shot. Yeah. I tell you what.
I'm with Zach on this.
Knowing them, listen. Knowing who's on the roster and all that down there. They're well coached. You got Rusty. You got Mapes down there working on them. Yes, and it's not a shot at Hillsborough at all. They've had an excellent year. It's just the fact that Farmington is that good, and I think Farmington rolls. I just do.
I think Jake Hogan's done a really nice job with that Festus team, and they lost to Hillsborough during the regular season twice. It is awfully hard to beat somebody 3 times in a season, and the strength of schedule is, that when you look at strength of schedule in that district, other than everybody playing knockout, so to say, in the JCAA, and Farmington plays a pretty decent schedule, but they're, this is going to be an interesting district for sure. And that's so. Well, go ahead.
No, you were talking strength of schedule, and I think that's the thing that sets Farmington apart from the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And
Hillsboro's
had
a
great year.
In all honesty, yes, they had. But in all honesty, I will say this: outside of Farmington and Central, the large schools in the MAAA have been down compared to years past. Okay, and then even in the small schools, it hasn't been the traditional. I mean, you go back and look at how many MAAA All-Star versus Jefferson County All-Star games that they've had, over the last umpteen years that they've done, and the MAAA, it's not even close. I would say that Farmington and Central are the cream of the crop up there, and we're talking on the girls' side for sure. But I just think overall it's down a little bit. But you ride those waves.
To be honest, basketball overall in the area is not as good this year as it was last year.
I'll agree with you.
Yeah,
I'll
yes,
agree
as
with
a
you.
whole.
As a whole,
I
not as
think
good.
this whole side of the state, basketball's down, a little bit, and I'm not afraid to say that. I just think that there's a few good teams, but it's not like what we've had the last couple of years. I think this year there's a lot of cut and dry. Who's going to make it out of districts to make it into the sectional and the quarters and all that kind of stuff. So
see, you're gonna have that in our district if Park Hills and Potosi make it to that final game. It'll be like the third or fourth time they've played. I think the Potosi's won 2 and Park Hills has won 1, maybe. If I might be incorrect, but I think that's right.
One of the hardest things in sports is to beat the same team 3 times in a season.
Yeah. No doubt.
It scores, whatever. It's the hardest thing in the world to do.
Well, that's a good thing. If we can beat Bayless, that's what I keep telling my kids. I say Potosi's good. If we get by Bayless, it'll be third time. You never know.
And because we're local. I mean, let's give a quick shout out. Hillsboro in Jefferson County, both boys and girls, I think, won the conference. I know last week or whenever it was, we talked about the small school side, but on the big school or on the large school side, Hillsboro, and it was, again, it was down on the boys' side. Hillsboro went 7-1, and then Windsor went 6-2. So, another great home and home season where it comes down, I guess, basically to the last week or second to last week in the year, and which is what you want for the
all those
large
games
schools
between Festus, Hillsboro, Windsor, all those on the boys' side were exciting games. It looked like, and they really battled each other all the way till the end.
No doubt about it. Well, let's do this, guys. Let's take our first break. When we come back, big news out of Columbia this week. We're going to talk a little bit to see what the ripple effect is going to be and what is the real reason why Missouri's former athletic director left to go to Arizona. So there's your tease. We'll be back here in a moment. It is the Coach's Box. Call it as we see it. Right here, presented by Off the Rails Media.
I'm a parking gate and I'm all out of whack.
Please insert your parking ticket.
It's gonna take a lot more than a little ticket to get out of here. And if you have cut rate car insurance, this could leave you all bent out of shape. No! So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Someone!
That's broken too, pal.
Please insert your
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-333-3777.
337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Hey guys, if you've been in to check out the changes at Case and Buck's Grub and Pub, stop by, check us out. We've got awesome wings, we got great pizza, we got a steak sandwich, a steak salad. Holy cow, we got games, we've got lotto, we've got cold beer, we've got a little bit of everything. Stop by, check us out, check out the weekly specials, barbecue, pork steaks, yum. Harold's Market, thank you, my friends. Check us out. We are waiting for you.
And we're back for segment number 2 of episode 179 here on the Coach's Box. Jim Powers, Jason Jarvis, Zach McVey, and Kevin Halley on board. And okay, guys, so why did...
Can I do a timeout? Can I do an audible real quick? Just because we're talking local,
yes,
and I want to give some credit. So this is pretty neat, and we always talk college, and since we're going to the segue, having over the years having some girls recruited to now. I mean, it used to be STL Cop, and now it's UHSP. You've got, and I probably butchered the name, but Grace Beyer is nearing the NAIA scoring record at again, it's not STL Cop or
it's health, it's College of Health and Science Pharmacy, something I don't even know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the all-time career NAIA leader in scoring. She's well over 3,000. She has 3,800 points.
She's got more than Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, and she needs 3,855 to go. And I know she's got, I think, 2 home games. I don't know, because the record's like right at or right around 500, a little over. I don't know what the playoff implications
they'll make the playoffs in the AMC. They'll get
they'll make
one more game.
They'll make the conference tournament, the AMC conference tournament. Yeah.
Yeah. So good luck to Grace. And I saw that today, and I thought, you know what, let's just do that shout out real quick, because that's cool. But anyway, go ahead.
No, that's great stuff. And now we go into college stuff. And all right, earlier this week, Desiree Reed-Francois, the former athletic director of the University of Missouri, left to go to Arizona. There has been a lot of things being thrown around on social media on the real reason why. But first off, guys, I thought she did one heck of a job. She opened up the pipeline for some big money donors. Really did a nice job in helping get the continuation of finishing the South End Zone project and the new facility. How big of a hit is this for Mizzou athletics right now?
A big hit.
I'm gonna ask the ADs about this because I don't know, not ever being wearing that hat, doing that job. I don't know on a day-to-day basis on the macro level how much of an impact they have, right? And so you guys know it better than I do, because again, as a coach, you're boots on the ground with the players, and that's what you do, and you're trying to win games. So when you zoom out again to the all-encompassing level, I don't have any idea of what ADs or that admin, the impact they have. So if you guys talk about it, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I know I'm not an AD, but I mean, just by what I've read about it, she's taking a job, that she's going to make less money. Arizona's a lesser job in a lesser conference for lesser pay. So I think it has something to do with that council thing or whatever.
I was just going to get to that here.
That's what it is. Go ahead. You might know You probably know more, Jim. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Kevin.
She probably doesn't play as big a role. The AD at that level is more of the closer in those discussions, and it's the final decision. She's got people underneath her that cultivate those types of things and recognize and pick out, this person and this family needs to be, is an attractive family to reach out to and a donor possibility. The University of Missouri itself, as I've read into this further, has done a much better job at the board of curators level of recognizing those. And a lot of those donors, those new larger donors, are apparently directly connect some of the new board of curator choices. So there is some there. From what I've gathered, that advisory board, that athletic advisory council committee, is only they're not as powerful as what they've made it out to be. They're more of an advisor, just that, an advisory type of thing. It's something to just keep things, especially with the way that they have more influx of money coming these days, to keep them a little bit more on the right and air type of thing. I do know that Desiree Reed-Francois is from the West Coast. Has a connection. I think she graduated from Arizona Law School.
Yeah, she got her law degree at the University of Arizona.
I think the donor base at Arizona is a lot bigger than the donor base at Mizzou. So maybe she had to work that much harder to try to do this. With projects coming up, there are several large projects at Mizzou that need to be completed in order to bring it up to SEC standards, especially in this more format. Baseball stadiums, soccer stadium, track field, those types of things need to be brought up to, up to a certain level that needs a lot more money than what I think that she realized maybe that they can gain. My bigger issue with this is we have not been able to hold on to an athletic director for more than 2.5 years at the most. And
well,
that's
if you go
for an up and coming school or that is doing outside of men's basketball really well in the SEC with lots of money coming their way.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. Like at one time, Joe Castiglione or whatever was our AD.
Castiglione.
Yeah,
he was an assistant AD, and I think he became the AD.
He was the AD, and he went to Oklahoma.
Yeah, he was the AD, and Oklahoma saw him as a big-time AD, but the curators and the people at Mizzou did not. And we have made a habit out of running these people out. I mean, I don't know if you guys got to read the article written by Bernie Michaelis for Scoops with Danny Mac, but it's a good article, and it goes into all the different ADs and how we've ran them out. And, I don't know, Mike Alden's one of the ones that's lasted the longest recently, and he was 18 years? And
it was 17 or 18 years.
Yeah,
and I think that had to do with Mike Alden's relationship with the board of curators and some of the people that were on it. And with the presidents and chancellors of the university, he was able to kind of hold on to the relationship and leverage it into kind of getting what he needed. But he also didn't really push or advance the athletic department those 18 years the way that
it helps having Gary Pinkel, though. Gary Pinkel was
that's what Mike Alden will hang his hat on, is the Gary hiring.
Absolutely. I'll piggyback off of what Kevin said, and what not a lot of people understand, and Kevin said it perfectly. Athletic directors on the D1, D2 level, they are fundraisers. That is their job. Their job is to be the closer. When somebody from the alumni relations, office comes over and says, "Hey, we got this," or "Hey, we got that." Their main job is to be the big fundraisers. Now, I hear there's a lot more with this whole council oversight committee. Bill Blitz, who's the one that took the lead in the whole Rams case against Kroenke, is the chairperson of this 4-person committee that's overseeing the athletic department. One of the biggest things in talking to some of the other ADs, some of the high school ADs, and we were chatting about this in a group chat, and they all said was, so really, what power does the athletic director really have now when there's 4 people that are going to sit there and micromanage every little thing that the AD is doing?
Well, think about it when Drink was hired. Drinkowitz was hired basically by the board of curators because
Yes.
Sturt didn't hire him. They didn't want to go with the AD's opinions at the time, and Drink goes to get a contract extension, and Reed Francis wanted to hold off to see how the squad was going to do, and she was overruled. He got a contract. So I mean, yeah, how much power does the AD at Mizzou really have? I mean, Drinkowitz has more power than she did probably as a football coach.
Right, and here's the other thing too. What not a lot of people, unless they've been following the story, the University of Arizona Athletic Department is running at a $133 million deficit. They are in the hole of $133 million. I mean, they went as far as trying to cancel sports, almost like what Stanford did when they canceled some of their sports. But then the blowback just got to the point to where it was going to be a PR nightmare. So they walked back on that, but they're raising ticket prices. They're raising concession stand prices. They're doing all this kind of stuff. And like Kevin said, she's making less money. And she is inheriting a dumpster fire. There's got to be something a lot more for her to leave Mizzou to go there.
Okay, I'll bring it up just because. Are we going to expect some type of like NCAA sanctions?
A lot of people are saying something's coming down the pipe.
I don't know. I mean, it bypasses Kansas and it hits us. So I didn't know if there's something waiting in the wings.
The NCAA just drove to Lawrence, Kansas, and then Bill Self just pointed towards Missouri, so they just started driving that way.
That was the end. I mean, we're done.
There have been a few people that have thrown that out there. Is maybe she's getting out because the NCAA's got something, and they're gonna come down with some sanctions.
Well, I will say that in this day and age, we would have heard or seen that smoke through social media. There hasn't been any smoke to that fire that I've seen anything about these things.
I haven't either.
So I don't know that it's that. I think it's.
I just think that's a bunch of speculation from people. I don't think.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe there's just not a reason. Maybe she just wanted out, and we're looking for a reason.
Okay.
There could be a tip.
Okay, so let me ask this: Is it the fact where you say I'm going to go somewhere either where I'm wanted, where I might take less money because I'm happier, and the only thing that it looks like I'm going to be in my current position is the whipping child, to where all of the negative is going to blow back on me because I wear that title, but yet I have no power, I have no teeth to make decisions. So I'm just the fall guy. So I don't want that. I don't want to deal with that. And I'm ready to move on. There's a lot of
truth to that. There's no way to really elevate the athletic director position at the University of Missouri.
No.
Right now, because of the way the board of curators treats that position. She can go to Arizona where it is a dumpster fire, and she can elevate that position by being the proverbial hero and getting them. They have 4 stadium construction projects going on right now at the University of Arizona, which is partially why they're in that financial mess that they're in. And then,
plus the other part of it too is the offensive coordinator's got 5 co-coordinators. The defensive coordinator's got 5 co-defense. I mean, and the one thing what everybody's going to need to understand is you're going to see colleges, universities, they're going to have to start cutting back on letting coaches have 25 coaches on their football staff. It's not feasible money-wise.
You mean a running game coordinator, a passing game coordinator,
5 offensive analysts.
I'm waiting for.
Man, I need one of them jobs.
It's my analyst is more than just watching huddle film.
True story.
But there's a lot of truth to that, but you're going to have to. Why are college coaches getting out of college and wanting to take NFL jobs from cushy?
Well, I think that goes back to the NIL.
NIL collectives. NIL collectives are probably trying to get their hands into the AD's positions in order to have more control. So I think that's into this pretty big. I don't know, and there's less pressure maybe at Arizona being in they're the Big 12 moving forward,
Yes.
aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah, being the Big 12 versus being the SEC's proverbial outside of Vanderbilt.
Well,
whipping
okay, and let's think about this again. Arizona, you're always going to hang your hat on their basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Basketball program.
Yeah.
Okay. Now everything else, I mean, I don't know, but you always know men's basketball is going to be, pretty legit, pretty solid going forward. So you have that there. At Mizzou, I don't know what you have year after year is going to be one of those types of programs. And so again, is the juice worth the squeeze for it? But I think I know who will probably wind up being the new AD. So
Share with us,
breaking
please.
news.
Share with us.
This is my bet. So when Gersh gets fired this year, because they're going to have to fire somebody, he'll just slide right on over because he's not doing anything now for the Cardinals. He can just go right on into. I've got this job experience.
You've lost your
Moselak's going to
mind.
end up being Moselak's going to end up being the Mizzou president of athletic operations.
Oh, man. All right. So real quick, while we're talking college, Travis Ford, does he survive at SLU after this year?
No.
Why not? Is it just one bad year? I mean, look at what he's
No,
done.
it's more.
Is it?
Yeah. I think they expected it to be here and it hasn't been there.
Okay. That I was gonna say they've expected to win conference, they've expected to get to the big dance, and it hasn't really happened that much.
The bigger question here is with the new athletic director, does Dennis Gates get to keep his job?
Well,
you would have to think.
Like I put in our group text, well, the women's basketball coach is going to be gone. I mean, I like Robin. I think she's a terrific coach. I just don't think – I think that has run its course. I think they need to get somebody else in there. But, yeah,
what I'm going to say
that's interesting with Dennis Gates. Does he survive this?
Well, here's what I'm going to say is that new athletic director, depending on when they hire him, he's going to want to make a statement hire as soon as he possibly can. And this would be a tremendous opportunity, depending on who it is, in a marquee type of men's basketball program to go make a statement.
Then you lose
hire.
all those recruits. I think
they're kind of tied in. We'd have to release. Well, I guess when you make they can get released.
I just don't think Gates is going anywhere, guys.
I don't. Unless he wants to leave, I don't think it would be a good idea to fire.
His stock has taken an absolute nosedive after last year with this year's with what they've done this year. And that
what are they on 14 straight losses?
We can't just keep. They're not. They're not.
You gotta give guys time to build.
I agree.
My God, it's 2 years. You guys act like. I mean, there's no way that you can just go well.
Well, I mean, I'm not. What I'm saying though is I'm not saying he should be fired. I think he should be allowed to build. What I'm saying is a new athletic director may want to make this an opportunity.
He's not getting to make that decision. Yeah, the new AD, the board of curators is going to make that decision. If they want to get rid of him, he's.
And if they don't win a game in the SEC this year,
I still don't think it matters.
It's good. It's going to be a very interesting scenario.
I think that just cripples Mizzou men's basketball going for the foreseeable future.
Depends
if
on
you
who
do
they
that.
Can get.
Yeah.
That you just said who they can get, not that they want, not that they should.
Big names want to come here.
Right?
Same thing with SLU. Right? I mean, everybody's throwing names out and all this stuff. They're saying, Greg McDermott's going to leave Creighton to come to SLU. No, he's not. He just knocked off the number one team in the country the other night. Greg McDermott can walk around Omaha and not pay for dinner or drinks for the rest of his lifetime with the job that he has done at Creighton. He ain't leaving there for this job. Ben McCollum, they're saying, we need Ben to come to SLU. There's only one job Ben McCollum from Northwest Missouri State wants, and that's the Iowa job when McCaffrey decides to finally retire. And he's made that known. He ain't leaving to go to SLU. SLU is going to struggle to find a big name to come into St. Louis to take over that program if, number one, they fire him and they can afford the buyout for Ford's contract.
Okay, so let me ask you this: with all of the talent in the metro area and all the talent in state, How come SLU doesn't have more
Because of the
local
academic
guys?
requirements, it's SLU.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
That's
asking.
the first part of it.
It's the academic requirements are so different. I mean, it's
And
not the
sometimes
same.
kids want to just get out of St. Louis.
That's the other point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but St. Louis is not the most attractive city to come to right now.
And who in the? I mean, in all honesty, the move
Cardinals
to the A10. Well, that's true too. The move to the A10 was the worst move ever. Yeah. If Father Biondi and Doug Elgin could have at least sat down in the room and tolerated each other for an hour to get that deal done, instead of them hating each other's guts, and Father Biondi basically throwing the middle finger to the Valley and going to the A10, you know, people would want to stay around because now you've got built-in rivalries. Who is the Billikens' rival in the A10? They're 6.5 hours away in Dayton.
Who wants to go to who wants to be recruited to St. Louis U to go play at St. Bonaventure?
Yeah. True.
Where is St. Bonaventure?
Who? St. Bonaventure's in Pittsburgh.
I thought it was upstate New York.
Who wants to go to Philadelphia? Who wants to go to Philadelphia to play St. Joe's in January and run the risk of getting hit by a nor'easter and being stuck for a week in Philadelphia? The only good thing about that is eating cheesesteaks every day and hitting all nine.
I don't think anyone wants to get stuck in Philadelphia. Them fans up there, man. Practice.
So, okay.
Kind of like nobody wants to get stuck in Midtown.
True story.
Okay, so speaking of getting stuck here, so the two soccer guys, I heard this on the morning the other day, and then Jarvis because of Kroenke. So they talked about the
Did you just say
field.
the K word?
Yes, because I'm going to let you rant.
I've already mentioned it too, Jason. I said the K word.
You're talking about Rams Park, which is now.
I'm talking about the Lou Hughes. Yeah, whatever they said. The soccer field complex.
Well,
the lease is up, and Kroenke can buy it.
It's football.
Buy it back for $1.
Yes, he has the right to buy it back for $1
in October of this year.
And
buy what?
Probably the Rams Park.
Rams Park,
because he can buy Rams Park back. Right now, he still kind of owns it, and I think Lou Hughes is like kind of leasing it, type of thing. But
for their football training and all that stuff,
training, soccer training, indoor facility, those types of things. Lou Hughes is actually more than just soccer; they do lacrosse and a bunch of other sports too. But he has the right to buy it back. He probably will buy it back in an effort to try to sell it then to a much higher bidder and force out whoever's there, or Lou Hughes to pay an exorbitant sum of money to buy it off of him. So he's going to use it as an investment piece.
Okay,
sports be damned.
I hate that dude.
I just said we teed it up for you, Jason.
That's why I wanted to tell
you. Out of the park.
Who comes up with the deal to say you can buy this back for $1? Like, how does that deal go down?
That dude just needs to be tarred and feathered.
I mean, say what you will, but good grief, if you could work out that complex,
if I could buy it back for $1,
$1.
There's a pretty good chance that somebody could offer to buy it from or buy out lease or whatever it would be. Before then, and then it's a moot point. I think it was just nobody thought that it would just sit unpurchased until that time.
Right. So okay, let's just say that the evil emperor that Jarvis, he's going to buy it back, and let's say again he's gonna sell it for just all kinds of money. What does that do to the athletics that is played on that field and all of the kids and the programs? Because I mean it's a pretty big complex.
Kroenke doesn't care.
That's what I'm saying. So what happens? What happens?
Lou Hughes in their program has gotten fairly large to do some things. They'll survive. I mean, it's mainly just indoor training facility that they use now. They just won't have access to it. They'll survive in some of their other fields that they have. There's, I think, up there in Maryland Heights, there's like 3 other parks that they can play in and practice in, and that Lou Hughes does use. It's a really nice piece because it's a full field indoor that they actually play games on. And they either they'll figure out something to do with it, or Lou Hughes will find someone else who will be as pissed at Kroenke as Jarvis is, and they build them their own. So,
oh shoot! All right.
Man, that guy makes me cringe.
Well, you've been cringing for the last 5 minutes while we've been talking about it.
Well, hey, did you watch the Dodgers and
Hold on one
the
second.
Padres today? Because old Schilt, I think he was cringing a little bit for his first game. Ooh,
Was he?
man.
8 runs in the first inning.
Did you not see the score? Well, that's
What?
something we can
Oh,
talk
yeah,
about.
they-
when we come
yeah.
back.
Yeah, well, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about this.
Almost
and then-
bedtime for Big Jim.
No, we've got our new segment. Our question for the top 5. We're going to roll that out here tonight. We've got the question. It's real simple. What 5 NFL teams do we think will make it to the Super Bowl next year? Everybody's got their list. We'll do that here in a minute. We'll talk about Schilt
I do not have that list. I will get it done in the break.
Get it done in the break.
You sound like the students, don't you? Sound like the
There it
students.
is. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching.
I have
Coach's Box.
AT&T.
Call it as we see it. Presented by Off the Rails Media. We'll be back in a moment, everybody.
I'm a parking gate and I'm all out of whack.
Please insert your parking ticket.
It's gonna take a lot more than a little ticket to get out of here. And if you have cut rate car insurance, this could leave you all bent out of shape. No! So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me. Someone! That's broken too, pal.
Please insert your
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Hey guys, if you've been in to check out the changes at Casey Buck's Grub and Pub, stop by, check us out. We've got awesome wings. We got great pizza. We got a steak sandwich, a steak salad. Holy cow. We got games. We've got lotto. We've got cold beer. We've got a little bit of everything. Stop by, check us out. Check out the weekly specials. Barbecue, pork steaks, yum. Harold's Market, thank you, my friends. Check us out. We are waiting for you.
And we welcome you back. It's our final segment of the night here on the Coach's Box, episode 179. Yes, AT&T, the FCC, and foreign hackers did not stop us tonight for being here. And Chris Miller, we still do. Do we ever find out what the final score was?
Yeah, they
They
lost.
lost to DeBerg.
That's not a final score, sir.
that's it. I think it was 60-something to 40-something.
So we shall see if Chris decides to try and jump in here in the last segment. So, all right. So last segment before we get.
He's
to our
driving the
top
bus.
five-
He won't.
Oh,
He
he's
will
driving the
not
bus.
jump in.
So we're talking about baseball starting today with spring training games and all that. What did Zach? What did the final score end up? I turned it off at 8-0 after the first inning.
Well, this is what you would call a lot to a little. I don't know if you think would be like a baseball score, but it ended up being 14-1. Dodgers. 14-1. Now it's spring training.
Right.
It is what it is. I mean, but the Dodgers put up an 8th spot.
in the first inning.
early on in the first thing. Now I'm going to
Say
say
it, the
this:
Dodgers
just
mercy run them.
right, exactly. I'm gonna say this, right? In a spring training and everybody's learning and everybody's knocking the cobwebs off. I'm gonna say this: the umpires had to as well, because there were a lot of pitches that are going to be called strikes in the dog days. I mean, I'm thinking, like, why are you not opening up the zone? And so the Dodgers, if they're seeing 2-1 meatballs right down the right, and they're just gap shot after gap shot. So it's
well, they're who I picked to make it in the World Series. So, I mean.
They are who they are. Really
Right.
good. So
yeah.
All right. So new thing that we're going to do here, and we're trying to do some different things and have a little bit of fun. But I saw this on Good Morning Football, which those guys are terrific. They really do a nice job every day on the NFL Network. But they basically do a top 5, and there's a question, and then everybody goes around the table and says their top 5. They talk about it for a minute, then they move on for the next one. So tonight's first top 5 is: what NFL teams in your top 5 will make it to the Super Bowl in 11 months? And we will start with the person that did not do his homework today and just did it during the break, Jason Jarvis.
All right.
Start off with number 5. We start from 5 and go down to 1.
Wait, it's 5 is
worst.
Oh, man.
No. I mean, 5 is they're like, it's a top 5, but 5. We'll start with number 5 and move down to who you think.
Okay, 5 is least, and then 1 is my
least.
Okay.
Yes, least.
Fine. 5 is like my surprise, like my team that the only way this is going to happen is if my number 1 isn't in the Super Bowl, and that is the Miami Dolphins. I love the quarterback. I love the coach. God, he's weird, but I watched Hard Knocks all the way through this year.
Hard Knocks was great,
and I enjoy him. There's something about the players buy in, and I don't know why, because he's weird, but he's good.
Well, he's been around the league. He's got his own personal story, his comeback story, and he's the player's coach, right? I mean, you talk about the difference. You talk about the difference between being a professional coach, college coach, high school coach, all of that. He is a professional coach, right?
Any team that has Tyreek Hill, he is the most dynamic receiver in the NFL, bar none, bar anyone. I don't care what anyone says. He is the difference maker at wide receiver in the league. And so that's why I have the Dolphins there. My number 4 team, probably going to surprise people too. I have the Green Bay Packers. And I just like the way they looked in the playoffs this year. I love the way they developed their quarterbacks. Look at it. It's worked. I mean, their last 3, Love looks like he may fall right in line with those. So I kind of like Green Bay. Then my 3rd is Detroit, and that's because of their coach. I mean, dude,
love him,
and that's why they're out. That's why they're not top 2.
He burned me with what he did, and I was rooting for them to beat San Fran, but Campbell's Campbell, and that's the way it goes. But I like Detroit's nucleus. I don't like their quarterback as much as some of these other teams' quarterbacks, but he had a great year last year. He's made it to a Super Bowl. You can't deny it. I mean, I think they're going to be tough to compete against again. 2nd, I didn't want to put them, but I did, San Fran. I mean, how can you Purdy, they got a good defense. Their receiver is a horse. I mean, he just is a beast. And I like San Fran, what they have. I'm not a San Francisco fan. And then my number 1 to make it back is because they want to do something that hasn't really been done, and that's the Chiefs. And you can call me a homer, you can call me whatever you want. I'm not a homer because I was diehard St. Louis Rams fan. All right, and the Chiefs owner didn't help with that. He helped boot us right out because that guy wanted all Missouri to himself. But it's hard to argue Kelsey, Taylor Swift, and Patrick Mahomes. And to be more, but to be more serious, they got the youngest defense in the league. And with Spags running it, they re-upped his contract. Probably smartest thing they did. I just don't see until someone proves they can stop them. That's the reason why I only have 2 AFC teams in there, because it goes through KC. I mean, the Ravens quarterback proved what he does, and I just don't know that he is the quarterback. The Bills quarterback, how many chances is he going to get? He's proven he can't do it either. Until one of these guys knocks off Mahomes, the Chiefs have to be the number one.
Well, and they talked about, because he's getting a little long in the tooth. They talked about the Chiefs trying to maybe trade up so they can get the tight end out of Georgia, Brock Bowers, so he could be the heir apparent to Kelsey and get a little bit younger, and then basically do the exact same thing that they've been doing whenever Kelsey decides to ride off.
Imagine how dangerous they'd be with both of those dudes on the field? Because Kelsey, let's be honest, he's a receiver. Okay, he plays tight end. Right. But he's a pass catcher. He's their best. He was their best receiver.
Okay.
Anyway,
so here's my question, and we'll get to it. We'll get to everybody else, but I would assume we're all probably
you're next in the rotation.
No, listen to that. You're next.
We're probably all thinking the same thing. Yes, Kansas City is it until they're beat. Does the salary cap defeat the Kansas City Chiefs? Does having a salary cap, do they lose enough because you can't pay everybody? You're not going to have the same roster.
Yeah, but they're lucky defensively. They're young, so they're not going to lose much there. I don't know.
They also have one big piece that not a lot of their teams have. Andy Reid and the best defensive coordinator in the league last year in Steve Spagnuolo.
Hey, did you see?
They'll scheme it.
Did you see the punter they just signed?
Oh yeah.
Oh, great stay. Good for him.
Well,
yes.
good.
I hope
only good for him, but smart by the Chiefs, man. No one wanted him. He's probably going to be one of the better punters in the league.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Zach, your top 5.
Well, you're up.
All right. I was torn between 5 and 4 because, again, I've got more NFC teams in. I wanted to put Miami. They're at number 6 just based on the fact that they don't win in cold weather. They just don't win.
You're right.
You play football in the winter. So anyway, I've got Lions at 5. I've got Green Bay at 4.
Hey, look at that. We got one of the same 4.
I think what'll wind up happening is, Goff stays upright. That might be a good, conference rivalry there that could last several years. Number 3, I've got the Bills. I still think that the Bills can at some point maybe if there's going to be an AFC team that upsets Kansas City, I think the Bills.
They don't have Jim Kelly or Thurman Thomas, guys. Come on.
I know. And then keep it in line. Number 2, the 49ers. The AFC. It's kind of like LeBron with his career. He was in the Eastern Conference all those years. Didn't have to play all of the tough Western Conferences and teams in the playoffs. The 49ers, I think they're head and shoulders above everybody else. Dallas is going to win their games, but they fold. I think Philly is they're in turmoil with the coaching situation, and I just don't think Green Bay and Detroit are old enough and experienced enough to beat the 49ers. So they're at number 2, and then number 1 is going to be the Chiefs. So we already talked about it.
All right, Kevin, you're up.
That's a pretty good list, Coach. I'll have to say.
That is a good list. All right, Kevin.
Well, I thought these lists would all look a little bit similar, and they do with a couple of exceptions. So my number 5 is the Buffalo Bills. I think they're going to win the AFC East. Because they win in cold weather, I think they've got a shot in the playoffs because of their affinity for cold weather. I'll put it that way. Plus, Josh Allen to me is still one of the most exciting young quarterbacks in the league.
Oh, yes,
and I think that's a
he
huge
is.
difference maker. I think
I wanted to put him on my
them.
list. I wanted to put him on my list, but couldn't do
number
it.
4, I'm going to pick a team that nobody else has picked here. The Bengals. Joe Burrow's back healthy. They still got that tremendous receiving core.
And they're thinking about trying to add another one.
Yes. And they were good defensively, I think, at times last year. So I think that they have a really good if Joe Burrow comes back healthy.
Wouldn't they look good if they got Devontae Adams? I mean, could you imagine adding him?
I'm going to say this.
They'd be hard to defend.
This next season is a make or break year for Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Because as the hype coming out of LSU, he's Joe Cool and he's smoking the stogie and he, all of that. He's got to put up. I mean, he's been hurt now a couple of years.
Yep.
Put up. And I think he can do it. And again, you talk about McDaniels as a coach. I think Joe's the same way as the player. The guys just kind of they believe in what he does and how he acts, but it's kind of one of those things like, come on now, you gotta show me. You gotta show me you can do it consistently.
You tell Zach's from the Show Me State.
Show me.
Hashtag realist.
Mr. Negative, ladies and gentlemen.
Who's your number 2 there, kid?
No, who's your 3?
Wait, we didn't do 3?
No. Uh-oh.
Is he frozen?
Look
at him. He is frozen in time.
I see, guy. Hey, let's guess. I bet he'd say like the Jaguars.
No, no.
I don't think that.
Carolina Panthers.
Okay, he says Chinese Packers got it.
Carolina Panthers.
No, but go ahead.
All right, I'll go. I'm bucking the trend on a couple here.
He's going to have Houston Texans watch.
No, I'm not. Even though they're I tell you what, CJ Stroud had a hell of a year this year, and they're going to be a
sophomore
team.
slumps coming.
I will say this, Jim. Ohio State. You always thought what Ohio State QB has done anything
CJ Stroud
in the past decade. He had a great year. He had a great.
By the way, what about my Ohio State Buckeyes women's basketball team, the number 2 team in the country? Thank you very much. All right, so anyway, we're going to stay in Ohio.
How'd their football team do against Mizzou?
Shut up. We're going to stay in Ohio. My number 5 team, the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun back. I bring the Browns in, baby. New offensive coordinator.
Hey. You suck. You don't know football.
Who's their quarterback? Who's their quarterback?
Deshaun Watson.
Massage.
Okay.
Hopefully he's gonna, new offensive coordinator. Nick Chubb's going to be back. I mean, if they don't get beat up by the injury bug as much as they did this year, they could have made a pretty deep run.
I get you. Thank you. You just made my night. I can't stop laughing.
I'm just saying. You know what? When they make the playoff, when they win the AFC North, when they beat Cincinnati, when they pound Baltimore, I will laugh at all of you.
My God. They cannot. There's way too many teams. No.
You forget this. You forget something.
And
Jim.
Cleveland.
Shut up.
Factory of sadness.
Yes.
I lived in Northeast Ohio for 30 plus years. I know the factory of sadness. I lived it. All right,
You've never been a Mizzou fan like I have.
That's true. Valid point. Number 4, the Ravens. Lamar's coming. Coming off the MVP. Okay.
All these AFC teams, dude. What? And then you got to have the Chiefs. So there's 3.
Right. So the Ravens back in number 4. Then the Lions at 3. I think Dan Campbell is going to get them to the Super Bowl sooner than later. I wish they could have held. I wish they could have held on for stinking 30 more minutes. This year.
You take the points. You hang on.
I know. And then San Francisco. I mean, Purdy is not a game manager. Purdy is legit. Let's just flat out say it. He's got great weapons around him. And like we've all said, Kansas City, basically, they're there until somebody can knock them out and not let them get to the Super Bowl.
So how many? Wait, you had 2 NFCs?
Yeah.
That AFC is a gauntlet, and you put Cleveland.
Because I'm telling you,
I picked the Bengals before I picked Cleveland with or without Burrow.
They've got the 3rd best tight end in the AFC.
Plus Burrow's backup.
And
the wife.
And Nick Chubb coming back at running back. Their defense is as good
as come back?
Yes, he is.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's coming back. And then you look defensively. You got to remember, at one point, they had the best defense in the NFL this year. And they're not losing very many pieces to that defense.
They don't have the youngest defense.
No, I mean, I get that.
Who's their quarterback?
I would hope that
end of discussion.
I would hope it'd be Joe Flacco personally, but I know that's
then they definitely are out.
Hey,
get to the Super Bowl with Flacco. He's like 50.
Hey, he got him. How many games did he win at the end of the season this year?
Oh God. Okay, blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while.
I'm trying to figure out who's Mr. Negative now. Is it Zach or is it Jarvis?
I'm not being negative. I just think your list sucks. I mean, let's be honest. That's why we're doing these lists, right? So we can critique. And I'm critiquing that your list sucks. And I took 5 minutes to make mine, and my list is better than yours.
And I will be laughing at all of you when the Browns win the North.
There it is, guys. Right. I wrote that crap down.
Okay, let's do that. You got one team that you think could be a surprise team in the NFL next year. Now, were they in the playoffs? Do they make a bigger jump? Were they out and now they're in? Or do they just they're at a mid-level and they ascend to a higher level? One team.
I think. Well, I'm going to say I'm going to say 2 teams just because I think they're on the same level. I think the Texans and I think the Packers. I mean, CJ. Once again, what he did this year was terrific. What Jordan Love and Green Bay did against Dallas down at Dallas. And by the way, notice that none of us had Dallas on our top 5 lists.
The Super Bowl.
Who's their quarterback?
Who? The Pack? Yeah, there's the Pack. Yeah.
The Cowboys.
Yeah. But I think the Texans and the Packers are right on the cusp and could really keep surprising a lot of people.
I tell you who I want, and I don't know if it ever happens, the Jaguars. With Lawrence, I think he's kind of getting close to that, again, that put up or shut up type level because, he got him to the playoffs 2 seasons ago, and they should have done better than what they did. And, I mean, you look at the stats that he has compared to some of the other QBs in the past that are labeled bust. His stats are basically identical, and I want to see him do well. I want to see Fields do well too, because they were, watching them when they were in the Elite 11 in high school and watching them on ESPN and that whole backstory. You just want to see him succeed, and just hoping maybe the Jaguars can maybe finally get over the hump and have some success.
Jarvis.
You really want to know?
Sure.
Jets. Jets.
No.
I'm just saying.
Why?
Can Rodgers stay healthy?
That's the question. Who's their quarterback? And if we want to start busting on Flacco being 50, how about Aaron Rodgers being 55? Let's go.
He's not wrong.
Let's go.
I didn't put the Jets in my top 5, moron.
You're not wrong.
Zach, you're back to being my friend again. Thank you.
You said surprise team, unexpected. Who the hell expects the Jets to be there? I mean,
everybody in America last year, until the 4th play of the game.
I'm game number 1.
I'm not gonna lie. I would have said I would have said Cleveland but he already talked about Cleveland,
Right.
so I didn't want to pick Cleveland. And another one that still I think has potential is the Los Angeles Rams. Stafford can, if he can be healthy, and their freaking receiving core is pretty good, and they still have McDonald in their defense. That was another team, but I just went with the Jets because I there's another show that I enjoyed. I didn't think I'd ever like Aaron Rodgers ever until I watched that.
Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, you talk about the perception, the narrative that the media gives to players.
Dude, he is from everything I saw in Hard Knocks, he's a great teammate, man.
Yeah.
He had that young quarterback's back the entire year. He's funny. He is funny. And dude, the ball, it really did. You could hear it zip when he would throw that ball, man.
Does Harbaugh do anything in year one with the Chargers?
See, Chargers was another one I was like,
I think he's going to need to get a year under the belt. And just because, having a total new offense, he's got a good quarterback. But, now you've got
Are they going to keep Eckler or whatever? Is he still going to – their running back? Will he still be – well, I mean, you got a good quarterback. You got a good running back.
Where's Derrick Henry go? Ooh. I mean, there's a ton of questions, right?
Somebody was saying there was a good team that they were saying that Baltimore.
Yeah.
That was the team that was mentioned the other day when they were talking about Henry, and I was like, ooh, that would be, I mean.
Yeah. Okay. I because we're talking about injuries and players and all of this, I know it's a switching of gears, and I know Jim wants to get out of here. How do you put? I love Tommy Edman. Like I've met him.
Good dude.
He good dude. I mean, hardworking guy. How if he's not back until early to mid-March? How do you plug him in as your everyday guy? Are you just going to say yeah, and then is that the house of cards already that goes into? Because he's injured. There's another dude off the top of my head. I can't remember that's
Donovan.
out as well.
Donovan, right?
Okay, Donovan.
Donovan's been going through workouts. So I think
I know, but you're still talking about an injury.
And Edmonds cleared everything except for hitting.
Right.
I mean, he's doing everything. I just I want to believe in the offensive part of this roster. Are we going
Zach,
to be injured?
To me, I mean, it's simple. It's going to be Dylan Carlson in center field. I mean, it has to be
right now.
I mean, who else are you going to put there?
I don't know.
Because Newt's going to have to be in left, right? And Walker in right. So it's got to be.
I don't know.
It's got to be Dylan Carlson, and you got to hope that he lives up to what he should have been already.
And I don't know, but Donovan's going to be healthy in February. Can he play a corner outfield? Lars plays center, and Gorman plays second until Edmund comes back.
Center? Newt.
Lars. Yeah,
I know Newt. I think Newt can play center too. I really think it's going to be Carlson. I just think it's going to be. They traded the guy that I mean, I like the guy they traded to Seattle, maybe, or who they traded. No, they traded him to Tampa,
Toronto, maybe, or Tampa.
The guy that came on at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Palacios.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean,
they start Saturday. They open up. I don't know if we're ever going to get to see them. I don't know if they're going to be televised.
Yeah, Tommy Edmonds a wild card in that whole deal, isn't he?
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, I tell you what, and that's going to lead into next week where we'll have a chance to kind of see what the Cards are going to put out on the field this weekend. Mm-hmm. And Bally's, I think, picks up maybe 15 spring training games. So,
well, I mean, it'll be our infield set. I mean, your third baseman's your third baseman. Wynn has to be your shortstop.
Right.
Your first baseman's going to be who. And
Boar, you shut your mouth.
and then
he says
I
Tommy
saw-
Edmonds going to be traded. I love Tommy Edmond. I want him. You know, they were talking about who's your surprise guy. I want it to be him. He's such a good dude, and you know, again, just the fact that he's the Swiss Army knife. But you all have said he's got Donovan's got more player control, so
I like.
you're probably
if
right,
I have
Boar.
the two.
I'm glad.
If I hate to agree with Boar right now.
Yes.
I'm going to.
Yes.
If I'm going to trade, I'm getting rid of Edmund and I'm keeping Donovan's dude. He's electric. The stuff that Donovan does, Donovan can play almost every position too. Yeah, he played shortstop even.
We've got 25 utility guys. We
Yeah,
don't need
so-
we don't
that's what
we
I'm
need
saying,
starting
so-
God bless it pitching, not
If
25 utility
you-
dudes.
I would think you could get something good for Edmund.
But
Maybe.
hold on. Once again though, look who is the president of baseball operations, and its name is not Gersh. It's Mozeliak. Do you think he's going to do that, Jason?
I don't know what he's going to do.
There it is. But this would be a great.
I feel about like I do about Kroenke about how I feel about him. And Mozeliak's done some good things for the Cardinals, but it's time. It's time to get rid of the bow tie. It is time to move on. You know what? I hate to admit this, and this is going to sound awful. And I'm going to sound way negative. I'm going to sound like McVey here, Jim. I don't know that the Cardinals get back to what the Cardinals were until DeWitt sells this team.
You know what? You may have a very valid point there, my friend. You may.
I mean, he doesn't want to spend the money. He wants to spend enough to make his money, but he doesn't want to go all in. And I'm not saying go all in like you have to spend like the Dodgers, but they said when we built this freaking stadium, we were going to raise our salary, and it's been the same. It's been the same. It's been the same. We have not raised it a significant amount like he said we would. He said we would.
By the way, breaking news: the Blues win 4-0. They scored 3 goals in 32 seconds.
So Kevin was right. He walked through the living room and walked back through, and they were up 3-0.
I look at it as I don't think throwing a blank check fixes all the problems. But you gotta sit here and evaluate who can be dudes, and then if you're gonna say, okay, if you need X amount of superstars, like A-level superstar talent, then you have to say that is who I'm going to spend on, whether it's position players, pitchers, closer, whatever.
You know what? If they would sign one more of these starters that are out there right now, but I don't care if it's Blake Snell, whoever. If they sign one of the dudes that's left, I would go, okay, Mozeliak did a good job. He got the 3 guys that can put up innings. You add a stud. You still have Michaelis.
Somebody's going to get hurt, and that's
somebody's arm's going to fall off.
To your point,
somebody's arm is going to fall off because they're 90 years old.
Well, I'm not saying it has to be Snell, Kyle. I'm saying one of those guys. Snell, who's the other one that's still left? The one we had last year, Jordan Montgomery.
Montgomery.
Now you got and Trevor Bauer's still out there as well.
Well, they're not.
How do you not throw Bauer a bone and say, "Oh, great, you'll play for the minimum,"
and you mess up one time, you're gone.
But I don't even think it's that. It's just like he's in a prove it deal, and if he does prove it, it's win-win.
Right.
It's win-win for you because it's cheap.
Not a Cardinal move to get someone like that. But wait, we had what's his name, the outfielder that went to Atlanta.
Ozuna.
Yeah.
Sign Trevor and run a 6-man rotation with the exception of Gray.
We talked about that last week.
I mean, I'm with you. I don't understand why you don't, unless Trevor Bauer's been told by all owners have been told to blackball that dude and not let him in?
But why? Because he wasn't found guilty of anything. It's just like the punter.
It's horse crap, dude. Think about the society we live in. We convict people before they're ever put to trial.
I agree.
Before they ever get the glove, if this glove doesn't fit, you have to acquit.
Oh, God. On that note, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
I'm just saying, the OJ thing, I watched that as it was going on live. It was pretty cool.
Yep.
Oh, shoot. Well, guys, great show as always. Everybody, depending upon schedules and all that stuff, either Wednesday or Thursday next week. Hopefully we'll have Chris back with us. We'll get Kevin back.
I'm playing Thursday next week.
I'm hoping you are too, buddy. And I'm hoping I'm getting ready for a district final next Friday night. So, that's the and Zach will just be hoping that, I don't know, he'll be hoping about something.
Baseball's going on. I'm hoping I'm home before dark.
He is hoping that he could be positive about something very soon.
Can you imagine the excuses that are coming soon?
Oh,
I'm coaching.
I'm coaching.
I'm coaching.
I got a game. I got a game.
Hey, and I'm going to tell you right now, 10 games in 13 days. That's one stint. Then we have 5 games in 7 days.
Well,
That's another
who's
stint.
your
And then
AD?
3
Jeez.
games.
Yeah, who's your athletic director?
3 games in 4
Your
days.
athletic director doesn't care about you.
He doesn't like you too much.
Man.
Oh,
yeah.
shoot.
So,
all right, boys. Well, hey, great show tonight. And Jason, good luck to you next week, my friend.
Thank you.
And we will see everybody next week. You've been watching the Coach's Box. We call it as we see it. Presented by Off the Rails Media. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
This episode of the Coach's Box Call It Like We See It podcast is brought to you by Off the Rails Media. Life's more fun when you're off the rails.